Hello again, many thanks for choosing us. I'm Ernest Minu. This is Joy News, independent, fearless, and credible. Now, Organised Labour has declared its intention to embark on an indefinite strike from December 27, 2022. This was made known by the General Secretary General of the Trades Union Congress, TUC, Dr. Yalbam, during a press briefing on Monday. He explained that the strike is due to government's decision to introduce a debt exchange program. According to him, the strike will be in force until government exempts pension funds from the planned debt exchange program. Labour unions present at the briefing were the Ghana National Association of Teachers, that's NAT, the Ghana Medical Association, the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, and the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association of Ghana, as well as the Teachers and Educational Workers Union, TEU.
You may recall that exactly 1 week ago, we said we were asking government to exempt us from the debt exchange program. We sent the letter and we told the whole world that if government doesn't do that, we will advise ourselves. Today, we are here to tell you the advice we have given to ourselves. Yes. And that advice is very simple. We have decided, all of us together, that because government has refused until today, by midday of today, to grant us our request that all pension funds, and we are not exempting anything, all pension funds must be exempted from the domestic debt exchange program. We have decided firmly that all workers of Ghana are going to strike on the 27th of December. And we will be on strike until our demand has been granted. And the demand is simple, that all pension funds must be exempted from the debt exchange program. And what it means is that all workers of Ghana should stay at home on the 27th of starting from 27th. Don't go to work. Stay at home. And we will stay at home until we hear publicly that government has exempted all pension funds from the domestic exchange program. That is straightforward and very simple. Between now and 27th, we have a few days to Christmas. From tomorrow, in fact, we have started today, every worker in this country must signal to government and to their employers that we are not sitting down for our pension funds for the most vulnerable people in this country to suffer because somebody has made mistakes. We are going to be in our red band, red t-shirt until we hear on the 27th. And we are not meeting here again. 27th, if we haven't heard anything, we start a strike. If we hear anything positive, we organize another press conference and tell the whole world that the strike is over. But that is when the exemption has been announced.
Let's go to the phone lines now and speak to Angel Kabonu. He's president of NAGAT. Mr. Kabonu, so I just heard the TUC Secretary General say that they are hoping that you are actually hoping that between now and the 27th of December, you hear something positive from government. I'm wondering if you've officially written to government about your displeasure with pension funds being included in the debt exchange program.
Well, let me state quickly that this intended industrial action to commence on the 27th, that is if government remains intransigent, covers both public sector and private sector workers. Because all public sector and private sector workers, including you, pay tier 2. And all our pensions will be affected if the debt exchange program covers our pension. Secondly, 1 full week is enough time for government to review or revise the situation, not including pension funds. Because, my brother, from 2018 to date, Ghanaian workers or Ghanaians in general have lost their investment as a result of financial decisions taken by government. Don't forget the infamous bank rationalization program, the financial sector restructuring program, where thousands and thousands of Ghanaians lost money on their investment. I don't want to mention the name of any company on your platform. Yet people who are responsible for this economic and financial ills walk the length and breadth of this country as if nothing has happened. Thousands of people, thousands, workers and non-workers alike, from 2018 to date. And on top of that, government again wants to touch the pension investment of the Ghanaian worker, pension investment that is already inadequate. In fact, this is too much for the Ghanaian worker to bear.
Yeah, Mr. Kabonu, we have had your justification for this action that you have declared, and we'll get into that a bit more shortly. But I just want to know whether you follow due process in declaring the strike. As you may know, the National Labour Commission will take interest in this. And that is why I want to find out if you have followed process in resolving to strike.
The action is being announced. Let any agency of state that feels offended or that feels slighted take whatever action it deems fit. This is an industrial action of destiny. It's an industrial action of our future. We have announced the action. Let any institution of state take whatever action. And don't forget, this action is not by NAGRAT. This action is not by NAT. This action covers the entirety of public and private sectors, including those who are supposed to take decisions in the various institutions of state.
Since you registered your displeasure with the inclusion of pension funds in this debt exchange program, have you been engaged by government? And especially because today was supposed to be the deadline for the fund managers and the institutions that are affected by this to sign on to the program. Today we've heard officially from the finance minister that has been extended to the 30th of December. Have you been engaged? If not, do you know of any pending meeting with Organised Labour to address your concerns?
Well, the futility of any engagement is to the extent that the worker will not allow his pension fund or his or her pension fund to be taxed or to be used as a mortgage for financial impropriety of state. That is an uncompromising situation because we don't think that it is the right thing to do, and we think that it affects the poor Ghanaian worker whose money so invested by the various fund managers is nothing to write home about in the first place. Number two, the fund managers are working for the various fund boards. They take instruction from the various trustees of the various funds. The fund manager do not have any power or authority to via any decisions imposed on it by the various fund boards and trustees. So when you engage a fund manager, you are not even engaging the right person because the fund manager ought to seek permission from the fund board where the various unions are represented before you can take any action. So when the minister cannot direct any fund manager to take any action with regards to pension funds.
All right. Mr. Kabonu, I'm grateful for your time on this issue. We'll see how this pans out. But we are joined by Madam Perpetual Ofoyampofo, who is president of the Ghana Registered Nurses Association of Ghana. Madam, thank you very much for your time. You are an essential service provider, Is this enough basis? And that's not to discount that issues regarding your pensions are very important, but this is something that can't be resolved. Why do you need to embark on this strike action to further worsen the plight of the Ghanaian who is already reeling under the harsh economic condition?
Thank you very much, my brother. But before I say anything, my union is Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. I think you left the midwives out.
The midwives out. Thank you.
All right. So to answer your question, let me say that you know the struggle we've been on since this issue was announced. Even before the announcement, there was a period where we heard so much, oh, there will be haircuts, there will be no haircuts, and all of that. And we have said it. My union, other health unions, the forum, Organized Labor has now issued a statement. It all tells you that the issue at stake is there. We are working now. Now we have the strength to work. We are working. We are taking our salary. But we are fighting for our future. A future where, by which time, we will not be too strong to even fight. By which time we will no more be working. That is the future we are fighting for. So when we say that pension funds should be exempted from this debt exchange program, we are only looking at the fact that as workers, we need to safeguard our future. And to be frank, yes, we are essential workers. And that is why when some of us are also speaking about these issues, it should be taken seriously. When we go on strike, we are never too happy about it. We are never happy about it. Because whatever strike it is, or whatever industrial action it is, sometimes it comes back to hurt we ourselves. We have families. They also seek medical help from the hospitals. But this is something we have to do. It is very necessary. Because if we leave things the way they are and pension funds are not exempted, talking about our Tier 2 funds, talking about our Provident funds, right, and all of that, if we are not exempted from this program, our future is there. We have looked at the various portfolios and their analysis within the scheme. And in fact, we are going to lose millions of cedis that when you break it down, it would have gone to the ordinary worker who is sacrificing and working for Ghana, hoping for something good in the future. And mind you, already pensions are not the best in Ghana. They are not the best.
So come the 27th, you and your members will not be at post to take care of the people of Ghana. Come the 27th, you and your members all across the country will not be at post to deliver health care to the people of Ghana.
From the look of things, yes, exactly that is what is going to happen. If we don't get government coming out to pronounce that they are exempting pension funds from this program, then that is where we are going to get to.
Well, we do hope that government will engage you before the 27th, and we'll be back here to talk about it. I'm grateful for your time. That's President of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association of Ghana, Perpetual Foriampofo. You are